Hell. I'm Chris Geiger.
I'm Will Scott, and today we are reviewing Hocus Pocus 2. We're going back to Salem.
Was Hocus Pocus, when did Hocus Pocus come out?
Ooh, almost 30 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised it just took so long for them to do the sequel because the first one was very beloved. Like as a child, I remember seeing it and at school, and they would play it like every year, and it was just something that kind of burned in my mind because Thora Birch was in it and she was like an up and coming actress, and Omri Katz was in it and he was in Erie, Indiana, and of course like Bette Midler, everybody knows who she is. Kathy Najimy, I think she was just coming off of like Sister Act, maybe.
Okay.
And who knows who Sarah Jessica Parker was?
No, she was, didn't we know her then? Like, wasn't she in Fame?
I don't think I've ever seen that. I've
Oh,
seen like clips, but I've never seen like the movie or the TV show.
I'm gonna look that up. I think we knew who she was. It was fun. I never saw the first one. I'm surprised you saw it in school
Yeah, I mean, it's
multiple
not,
times.
yeah. I just remember, yeah, it was the movie that they put on, while we were just, wrapping up the day. So it was like after preschool, then we have like grammar or whatever, math. And then it was like before you left school, between probably the hours of like 2 and 4, we watched Hocus Pocus and had candy and there was like music and stuff. It
After
like actually wasn't that
preschool,
scary.
after preschool, you had math. I feel like your school was much harder than mine. Like after preschool, we went home.
Oh, not, I don't think it was like preschool. Maybe I was definitely 93. I was definitely in elementary school and not like the half day thing either. So,
Very nice. So I didn't have fond memories of it, but I knew that it had been out. A lot of people did really like it. A lot of people really liked, of course, Bette Midler has her own fan base going, but people liked the combination of the three of them.
yes.
And it's very campy and family friendly, not scary, but very fun. The second one is the same. Like I thought the ending was super cute. Like it was very heartwarming, that she gets sent off and all of that.
Okay. What are your first impressions of Hocus Pocus 2? Yeah, you haven't seen the first one, but yeah, what were your impressions like going in?
So I had seen the first one though. When we
Okay.
decided we were going to review this one, I went and watched the first one
Okay.
to have that background. But I didn't watch it as a kid. Like I didn't have fond memories of it. Like
Yeah.
my memory of it was just like yesterday. But I thought I thought it delivered on its promise. I was surprised at how in the first one they were like mean witches, like they were going after children. And so like that very clearly puts them into like the not nice witch part. I was surprised that back then, like 30 years ago, that they would take it that far or like make it that like black and white. Like they're evil witches, they go after children, they steal their soul. I mean, it's like Dr. Sleep, right? Like that's what they're stealing their souls so that they can remain young. It's exactly like Dr. Sleep, actually. Yeah, I was surprised by that, but then I thought they like brought it much more into modern day, which is where like, of course now they're all very beloved and there's
Yes.
these icons of film. And so they're not going to make them like super evil as much as they were back then, right? Like I'm sure they had a hand in making themselves softer characters this time.
Of course. I mean, they went to CVS and had like a beauty moment, which I thought was hilarious. I was
Yeah,
like, is this product placement?
I thought that was fun. I also like the vacuum when she's on the two Roombas.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
Yeah, yeah. You clearly had reservations though.
I did. I mean, it's really hard to follow up from a beloved original. And I had very high hopes for this one. And I feel like it just, yeah, my expectations were fallen flat,
Aw.
which is kind of, yeah, I just, I I expected a little more. I don't know, maybe it was a red herring that kind of threw me off because I definitely thought, going in that the principal who was like the person who was a relative of one of the folks that like excommunicated the witches as children. I thought that he would have like more of a principal role, especially given, I guess, the times of, women are hearsay and women and witches, etc. And it was kind of like they did the whole like, oh, bloodline thing instead of like him essentially being the problem, which I was like, oh, I thought it was going to go there in terms of like feminism, and it really didn't. So I was like, oh, and then I was like, I'm shocked, no original song. They kind of redid the Bitches Back by Elton John, but like, come on, Bette Midler, like there, I Put a Spell on You from the first one was just iconic. This one was just kind of like lackadaisical.
I was hoping that this one would be funnier before I saw the first one, but then when I saw the first one, I was like, oh, well, it's not really that funny. So I guess it makes sense that this one isn't. Although I did think that it, as campy as it looks with them, like the part when they're in Walgreens and the part where they're in where she's flying on the rainbows, those were clearly the two funniest part.
Yeah.
I did like that the guy who's running for mayor is Buster from Arrested Development. I thought he would be funnier too. I was like, oh, Buster is here. Like,
but maybe I guess I'm coming to the realization that, yes, we know these characters, and even Sam Richardson, which I think he's great. I'm like, it was this movie was for the kids. They don't know who Bette Midler is. They just see her as like Winnie Sanderson from the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus. They don't know that she's like iconic.
Right. She will be to them in 30 years.
Yes. If she stops tweeting.
Yeah. Let's go to the slide. Isn't everyone going to stop tweeting now? I gave everything a 2, as did you. Because I had high hopes for all of it and it just sort of fell flat. I didn't want to give anything a 1. It wasn't like below average for the type of movie it was, but it certainly wasn't. When I think of like movies similar in this genre, like I compare it to the Addams Family, which is so fun and so funny, and the characters are so extreme but campy and heartfelt storylines. They seem to hit all the high points. The design is awesome, and this just seemed not that. But I don't know what I would consider a terrible movie in this genre.
Yeah, I completely agree. I didn't want to give anything a 1. I just thought it was really average. Like the acting was fine. And maybe, I really think that maybe it's the aged out of the target demo, obviously, because it was on Disney Plus exclusively. And the leads were, 16 to 18-year-olds. Fine. It's like very Gen Z. However, a lot of the supporting characters, and obviously the Sanderson sisters, them being the iconic trio, would be the draw. But I just felt like there were it was just okay. It was great seeing, I love Doug Jones, so it was great seeing him come back. I love seeing Hannah Waddington, who's like the OG witch. I wish that there was more of a backstory there with her being in the story. And I actually hope that there's either prequels or sequels to this, but I don't know. Maybe this was the sequel that needed to happen because of the fan favorite, kind of like that need, and then it can jumpstart something else. But I definitely think that the term that I should use like a palate cleanser before jumping into something more fun. But the costumes were what they were. The production was okay.
Do you have anything to plug in this episode?
I do. So the Subway series, Sundays on Fire, I think the last one of the year, is happening on next Sunday, or I guess Sunday, November 13th at NMiH in Brooklyn. So it's a celebration of Hong Kong cinema. We got many different things in the pipeline in terms of movies that we are going to see. So
awesome. I didn't realize Sundays on Fire was seasonal.
Yes. So this was the first time that they've done the series at Nighthawk in Brooklyn, specifically Prospect Park. And it has gone on since the spring until November. So in November is the last one, and then it might change to a different location.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Do you have anything to plug?
I don't have anything hugely significant. I Heart Korean Movies is going to have an event on this Sunday at, I think, 10 a.m. I want to say it's an early Sunday morning movie at Empire 25. It's called Remember, which I had never heard of before, but it just popped up this week on the listing. Check it out if you are interested in joining us. I already have 2 people who have RSVP'd on the meetup page, and I just posted it, I think, yesterday or the day before. So
Awesome.
Yeah, should be fun.
Yay! And get there early because Sunday is, I think it's the marathon. Yeah.
Yes. So you're definitely going to want to check out any blocked roads or maybe subway stations that you want to avoid. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. See you next time.